Lawnmower. Oh, what a joy to be working outside, sculpting the land with a great sense of pride. For some it's a job, and for others it's fun, a wonderful skill learnt by anyone. One particular chap found it a great pleasure to structure and sculpt his garden at leisure. His work was impressive, and that much is sure, the raw natural beauty that so many adore. The trees and the flowers were truly a sight, and the pathway along just fueled the delight. Small animal homes and a bath for the birds, I can't praise it enough, you'd be lost for words. But to this dear man, and I swear it's no farce, when I tell you his favourite, in fact, was the grass. Attending with care, and not in a rush, with an old bladed mower he considered a brush. For this was his art, it was blade shaping blades, a philosophy held for several decades. He kept the blade sharp, with a prideful admission, to shape out his canvas, his favourite addition. An opinion so odd, its responses were varied, but to him it was special, it's where the bodies were buried. Oh, certainly some would leave theirs on display, getting some rush from the public dismay. It's simply pathetic, he'd silently groan. No, not for him, his secret's his own. As the years had gone on, and so many passed through, he thought to himself, oh, who'd miss a few? He'd leave out a sign to come see his yard. Finding new people, it wasn't too hard. When they came by themselves, then his chances improve, and not paying attention, he'd then make his move. Excusing himself, claiming that he felt faint, then made for the mower before he could paint. He'd slash at them quick with the lawnmower's blades, then watch in their eyes as their light slowly fades. The blades came off quickly and were easy to clean. To let them get rusty would be too obscene. As the years carried on, standards would never lower, as he'd freshen his art with his trusty lawnmower. Heron. A little old village with secrets abound, built within marshes not easily found. The people are quiet and keep to each other, close only to parent or sister or brother. This village is bleak and stricken with grief, such a morbid old place that it beggars belief. Though I shouldn't judge, given what they endure, if I lived near that creature, I'd be the same, I am sure. You see, I'm aware, and the truth I'll reveal, of this creepy old village and its unspoken deal. Out in the marshes lives the one they adhere, out of respect or tradition, or perhaps it's just fear. This being so dire, of old local fame, is as old as the lands, and Heron is its name. Don't let the name fool you, in fact I should warn of this harrowing creature and its tall looming form. Its dark shrouded body and long crooked face, clawed hands, tall legs, and a lust to give chase. They know of its coming in the cold autumn shiver, when a figure would stand staring in from the river. Nightfall would come, and all would go home. The streets and the marshes were not safe to roam. Most tried to sleep through, if for sanity's sake, but many could not, fear held them awake. The noise would start low, a dull scraping sound. The creature approaching, it wandered the ground. A silence would fall, as the creature would soar. Then it lands at a house and knocks on the door. The chosen is picked, no escaping their fates. It returns to the marshes, and there it just waits. Most accept it and enjoy their last days. Others weep or they beg or they curse these foul ways. Some barricade in or just try to leave, but there's only one end. There is no reprieve. As if in a trance, although that isn't clear, they'd walk into the marshes and just disappear. Next year comes around, they move on with their lives, another year of good harvest, and the village survives. As it was at beginning, and has been thereon, the marshes belong to that old nightmare Heron. Jellyfish. Throughout all the ocean, in peace and in strife, the waters are brimming with all sorts of life. It draws in so many, this aquatic old world, where so many mysteries have yet been unfurled. One particular beach held a small local faction, but when summer came round was a tourist attraction. The townsfolk would prosper from vacationing strangers, but would warn that the waters held several great dangers. For one businessman was an aim quite bizarre. He wished to swim out at a distance quite far. Far enough not to hear or see one other soul, to just be alone and at sea was his goal. This plan was too reckless and was met with much scorning, though not out of malice, just an old local warning. The sea's a cruel mistress, you must show her respect, underestimate her and she'll quickly correct. With these words of wisdom, he brushed them aside and rested a while on the calm and warm tide. Bathing beneath the gracious sunlight, a setting so peaceful, it all just felt right. Though as he did rest, he would quickly learn, as his leg felt a pain that sting and did burn. Before he could move, there came a new pain across his whole body again and again. He flailed about and tried to keep calm, when then suddenly came a pull on his arm. He fought with all strength and with all of his will, but the pain was too strong and was holding him still. At the pull of something, water covered his head, where before this poor man was a creature of dread. A huge jellyfish was a fright to his eyes. This thing was a monster, it dwarfed him in size. Its great tentacles were curling and bending, they surrounded the man and were clearly unending. As much as he fought against this nightmarish breed, but it now had its prey and wanted to feed. He couldn't stop staring, his heart fearfully ran as its tentacles rose and enveloped the man. To meet with a shark you may preferably wish than to be caught off guard by a giant jellyfish. Sunshine. The wondrous world of today's television, a collection of networks ripe for your decision. A little while back, not so long ago, on Saturday morning was a certain kid show. It opened with a tune, the same one every time, then to add more to the fun, it led on to a rhyme. Everything is wonderful and everything is fine. The time has come, yes, once again, so let in the sunshine. There's no need to be upset, no need to pout or whine. It's a beautiful new day today, now let in the sunshine. Don't wait around, don't drag your feet, go on and get in line. Open windows, open doors, and let in the sunshine. This show was a success. For some few generations, it broke the television mold and reached into several nations. The host, her name was Sunshine, the star attraction of the show. She was so loved beyond all means, there were few who didn't know. Her mask was like a smiling sun, her clothes did glitter bright, to add to the show's ambience as she shined within the light. So many had adored this show, all those that it could reach, a mix of fun and education, such good lessons it would teach. That was until the cancellation of the beloved children's show. But what would happen in response? I mean, really, who could know? Sunshine had demanded to do one final episode, involving all the cast and staff. This she felt the show was owed. So the morning came along, and of course it did air live, but those within the studio, there were few that did survive. The show had started as always, with that lovely happy tune, but just what Sunshine had in store did happen all too soon. She'd made some treats before the show, marking all they had accrued. Unbeknownst to all the staff, however, she'd poisoned all their food. They choked and sputtered up their blood and clawed upon their throats, all as Sunshine gave her speech, her laughs and all her gloats. The broadcast cut not soon enough, dead all across the place, and the last thing that any saw was that smiling bloody face. A great so many people, with memories still fraught, which is not made the easier that she was never caught. Yes, I am afraid it's true, dear Sunshine got away, and while we've not heard too much, she might still live today. Now while she's still free, I'm sure that everything is fine. Just keep your doors and windows locked, and keep out the sunshine. Good day, I'm Jar19 and thank you for listening. So what did you think of 4 Random Creepypastas Volume 3? Hopefully you found them scary, or at least creepy. These were some tough ones, I'll tell you. Fun to work with though. I should also probably apologize for my singing in that last one. Sorry about that. These 4 random creepypastas were inspired by Tales from the Forbidden Blender. Link to his channel in the description. I've got one more of these coming up, but that will be after a few other videos. Then I think I'm going to change up the random word choosing system into a poll on Twitter, which I think could be fun. I hope that you enjoyed today's video. If you did, then perhaps subscribe, leave a like, and if you're feeling particularly cheeky, maybe even a comment. I do hope that you'll join me again. Stay safe, sleep well, but remember, here we make monsters.